Hello my beautiful friends, how you doing? It's Asba here. Welcome back to my channel. Well, I can smell pleasant scent of charming roses. Is it coming from the title of the video? No, let me show you. It's coming from these loose watercolor roses. And you know what guys, the loose playful paint style is really modern right now and can be seen from bedding to notebooks almost everywhere, and I've been seeing on Instagram lately a lot. Now let me show you the art supplies that I'm gonna be using in this tutorial. Here I have cold pressed watercolor sheet from Brush. It's of 300 GSM and you can see how thick it is. And I got it from Amazon. This watercolor palette is from Camlin. You can see pinks, purples, blues, greens, and yellows. It has total 24 shades. Well, for color mixing, I'm gonna be using this saucer. This water brush pen is my buddy. It has painted many paintings. Yes, it is true. And you need some clear water in a cup or a bowl. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Let's begin with the first rose. I'm gonna go with light pink and diluting it with water. Again taking some more pink and now mixing in this saucer. I'm using it as my color mixing palette. Now I have slightly watery consistency. Gonna start with making a semicircle. And there goes the another one. I'm zooming in to give you a better view. Here goes the fourth circle and started dragging it down from the top. Now I'm adding a larger petal on the left and kind of keeping it watery to make it look lighter. And one goes on the top. One more large petal. And you can see it is sort of pointed. And you can notice this one is a bit darker than the rest. Now I'm like enclosing it with small petals on the top. Let's fix a bit this large petal first. Now finally enclosing it. Let it get dried up. I'm gonna add details to it later. So let's move on to the next one. Starting with kinda three-headed petal and keep your paint watery. Now encircling it with few petals, and it's totally up to you how many petals you want to place around it. So feel free while placing the petals, so don't overthink. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yes. Just wanna play with the paint and it's really fun. Do try it. Here is the last petal and I want to tell you that in the first layer I kept it watery and light because when I'm gonna add details to it, roses will get pop-up effect. I guess I should place a small petal on the top. Now I'm taking dark pink to highlight the center of the rose, making some lines and highlighting the petals. I have zoomed in so that you can observe how I'm adding effects to it and trying to keep it natural. Beginners must give it a try, and after practicing it, definitely you'll get hang of it. Once it gets dried up, I'll come back to add more details to it. Let's move on to the first rose again. Now taking dark pink and diluting it with some water. And starting with couple of semicircles in the center. Now going round and round and making broken semicircles. I'm trying to keep it natural. It has tight center, so I'm adding more details to it, and it's up to you how much detail you want to make it. As you can see, second rose is all dried up. So I'm kinda darkening its center. Just scribble a little in the center and add more details to the petals by drawing these broken curves. And I feel it's quite effortless, isn't it? Guys, just see wherever it's required to add more details. Now I'm mixing some yellow with orange to get that nice peachy color. Adding some skin tone to it. I'm beginning with the same technique like I did it in the first one. So gonna continue with semicircles and going round and round and round. Again, I have zoomed in and you can have a better view. Let me remind you, I'm keeping the consistency of paint watery, sorta translucent. All you gotta do is just go in circular motion and play around with semicircles. It has tight center and loose petals outwards. Now take some orange and highlight the center. I believe any newbie can paint a rose with this technique as it is pretty easy. I'm mixing pink with orange to darken the center and making it more detailed. Throughout the video, I've been using the same brush pen. This peachy one turned out more amazing. Let's paint a couple of pink birds on the top, keeping them lighter so that I can highlight them later. I'll come back to add details to them. Let's move on to the peachy one. Wow, it's looking so cute. Let's start off with greenery. I'm mixing dark green and yellow to get that nice green tone. Starting with tip of the brush, I'm dragging it down and branching out some stems. Adding kind of ovals at the initials of stems to get that sort of vintage look. Guys, you can see I'm not filling these ovals with paint, and I feel any person can paint this kind of leaves. I'm adjoining little leaves at the end of the buds and dragging down stems with the tip of the brush. Branching out one more stem and adding an oval shaped leaf. I feel greenery is kind of cherry on the cake. Guys, whenever you paint flowers, just spice them up with some effortless green leaves, as you can see I'm doing right now. So don't stress yourself, just go freely wherever your paintbrush takes you. You know, nothing is perfect in this world, and so is the art. Art is kind of imperfectly perfect, isn't it? And for leaves too, I kept the same watery consistency, and I'm keeping them lighter as I'm gonna add details to them. I'm stippling some paint in the center, you can see. Now with the dark green, I'm adding sort of details to the stems and leaves. My advice to you is don't press paintbrush so hard on the sheet, just go with the light hand. Just use these broken line technique to add details. Now taking some pink and making these buds detailed, you can observe how I'm doing it. And I'm going over the rose again and adding some lines on the edges of petals. I'm almost done, just adding few more details to it. You know, this sort of paintings have been selling like hotcakes these days. You can even run your own business like on Etsy, eBay, and there are many more platforms out there. Ta-da! I have completed it. Isn't it looking quite beautiful? You can get it framed as well. And guys, just look at this beautiful bookmark, and you can also paint these watercolor roses and create your own stuff. Well, thanks a bunch for bearing with me, and consider subscribing my channel. Take care and toodles!